You walk out to your car this morning. You do a quick walk around before getting in, something you probably do once a month at best. And there it is, a bump, a bulge on the side of your tire that wasn't there before. It's not flat, it still looks mostly round, the pressure feels fine, and you've got 30 minutes until you need to be somewhere. Here's the question most drivers ask themselves in that moment. Can I just drive carefully to the tire shop? It's only a couple miles. I'll take it slow. I need to stop you right there, because the answer to that question isn't what most people think. And I need to tell you something specific about what that bubble actually is before you make any decision, because understanding the science of it changes everything. A tire is not just a hollow rubber tube. It's a layered, engineered structure. On the inside, there's an airtight inner liner that holds the pressure. Over that, there are layers of polyester or nylon cords called body plies that give the tire its structural shape and strength. Over those cords, steel belts. Over the steel belts, the tread. And the whole thing is bonded together by rubber and adhesive compounds under enormous factory pressure and heat. When those layers are intact, your tire holds 30 to 40 psi of compressed air perfectly, every single rotation, 800 times a mile according to Tire Rack. 800 times every mile. That's the number I need you to remember. Now, here's what happens when you hit a pothole, or a curb, or a piece of road debris. In the fraction of a second of impact, the sidewall gets pinched between the wheel rim and the road with enough force to snap the internal cords, the body plies, like snapping a pencil. The outer rubber doesn't break. It looks fine from the outside. You might not even feel it. But inside the tire, those cords are severed. And now there's a gap in the structure where pressurized air, 35 psi of it, starts pushing outward. It can't escape through the outer rubber immediately, so it inflates the space between the broken cords and the outer layer. It balloons outward. And that balloon, that bubble you're looking at, is the only thing standing between the pressurized air inside your tire and the open road. Not the steel belts, not the body plies, just the thin outer rubber skin of the sidewall, a layer that was never designed to contain tire pressure at all. Now, here's what I need you to understand about that bubble and why the "I'll drive slowly" plan is more dangerous than it sounds. Remember that 800 rotations per mile number? Every single one of those rotations, the bubble flexes. It compresses as it contacts the road. It expands back out on the other side. Compress, expand, 800 times a mile. And every single flex is working against the one thing keeping that air contained. Tire Rack's own technical documentation confirms that bubbles that are ignored will continue to grow in size, further reducing the remaining structural strength until the tire fails. They compared it to bending a paperclip back and forth repeatedly. Try it right now in your head. You know exactly what happens. The failure, when it comes, is not a slow leak. It is not a gradual flat. It is a catastrophic, instantaneous loss of pressure, the kind that NHTSA associates with 11,000 crashes every single year in the United States, the kind that caused 563 fatalities in 2022 alone, the kind that happens in milliseconds, often on highways, often with no warning whatsoever. So now, I need to tell you about something that will make you angry, because there are tire shops, real shops, shops you may have walked into before, that will look at your bubble and offer to fix it. They'll call it a sidewall repair. They might offer to inject a sealant compound. They might suggest a plug or a patch on the inner liner, and they will charge you for it. Every major tire manufacturer on Earth, Michelin, Bridgestone, Continental, Goodyear, Pirelli, states the same thing clearly in their official documentation. A tire with a sidewall bubble is not repairable. Not with a patch, not with a plug, not with sealant, not with anything. The reason is not bureaucratic caution. The reason is physics. The structural damage is the severed internal cords, and no patch applied to the rubber surface addresses or replaces broken cords. A patch on the inner liner might temporarily hold pressure, but those 800 flexes per mile will peel it away, and the underlying structural failure hasn't moved an inch. Any shop offering to repair a sidewall bubble is either uninformed or is taking your money for a procedure they know will fail.
The only safe outcome for a tire with a sidewall bubble is replacement.
no exceptions, according to every manufacturer and every independent tire safety authority. Now, here's the question you actually came here with. What do you do right now, in the driveway, 30 minutes before you need to be somewhere, with a bubble on your tire and nowhere to be? Here is the honest answer, and there are two parts to it. Part 1. If you have a spare tire, use it. Put the spare on now, not after you drive to the shop, not after you drop the kids at school. Now. I don't care if you've never changed a tire before. Every car comes with a jack and lug wrench. There are step-by-step instructions in your owner's manual. It takes 20 minutes the first time you do it. That is the right answer, and it costs you nothing except time. Part 2, if you genuinely have no spare, your car doesn't have one, or the spare is already flat, or you're physically unable to change a tire, then here's what you do. You drive to the nearest tire shop, not the cheapest one, the nearest one, at low speed, avoiding any potholes, any curbs, any rough patches of road you can possibly go around. You do not take the highway. You keep it under 35 miles per hour. You do not make any sudden steering inputs, and you replace the tire the moment you arrive. The reason this plan is acceptable in an emergency is not that the tire is safe, it isn't, but because the risk of a low-speed blowout on a surface road is manageable in a way that a highway blowout at 70 miles per hour simply is not. Now, here's the part of this I want you to sit with, because this is the thing that nobody tells you until it's too late. In a lot of cases, and the tire engineers at Tire Rack are very specific about this, a sidewall bubble doesn't appear the same day as the impact that caused it. It can take days, it can take weeks. You hit a pothole 2 Tuesdays ago, you forgot about it in 30 seconds, and then this morning you walked around your car and there it was. The connection between that pothole and this bubble is invisible unless you're looking for it, which means there are people driving right now with impacts they've already forgotten about, with internal cord damage that hasn't surfaced yet, with bubbles that are forming underneath the outer rubber and will appear without warning at some point in the future. This is why checking your tires visually isn't just a monthly habit. It needs to be something you do before any long drive, any road trip, any highway journey where a blowout isn't a minor inconvenience, it's a potential rollover. Run your hand along the sidewall if you can't see it clearly. Feel for any protrusion, any bump that doesn't belong. Takes 30 seconds. Because the physics here is absolutely unforgiving. A tire with a sidewall bubble is not a tire with a cosmetic defect. It is a tire that has already failed. It is a tire that is holding its air pressure through a thin skin of outer rubber that flexes 800 times every mile until it doesn't. The question in the title of this video was drive it or park it? Park it, then get a new tire today. And one more thing. If you discover a bubble while you're already on the highway at speed and the tire hasn't blown yet, there's a specific way to handle that situation that most drivers get completely wrong, because the instinct to brake hard and pull over fast is exactly what can take a survivable situation and turn it into a rollover. That's a different video, but it's worth knowing before you ever need it.